Don't forget to scan the barcode on the screen to download our 2024 NUL Conference app that will enhance your experience here this week. The app offers easy access to schedules, networking opportunities, and real-time updates. Also, please note that this event is being live streamed.
We're more than a store. We're a destination for customers, communities, and cultures making memories, celebrating life. Your purchases reveal your values, and we value you, the customers who inspire us to dream bigger and be bolder. So we continue to give back to communities and causes that matter to you and lift you up. And whoever you are authentically is who we welcome sincerely. We aim to always create a brighter future with bold representation for all.
Life is the sum of our moments. Combined, they form a mosaic of varied experiences and emotions. The mix of pride and worry watching your child drive away for the first time. The rush of achievement walking into your first home after saving for years. The optimism felt the moment your passion finally becomes your livelihood. Moments like these create momentum towards a life fully lived. Multiplied by millions, they propel our collective progress. But progress isn't always easy. For people facing obstacles, it can be much harder to get ahead. For decades, insurance has promised to protect what matters most, and we stand behind that promise every day. But simply returning people to normal was no longer enough. Progressive was founded on the belief that insurance should do more. We are taking meaningful action to enable progress on the road, in the home, and in business. Because we believe every person deserves to feel valued, respected, and have access to the protection they need. We believe peace of mind frees people to pursue what they want. And we believe when people look ahead and challenge the status quo, progress is made. That's why we continue to innovate, not just to protect, but to propel people forward. While other companies talk about dreams, we want to help more people make tangible progress. We are progressive. And we exist to help people move forward and live fully.
These are our moments of joy.
Say cheese.
Hey! Our everyday.
Wanna love, won't you make me?
Our traditions. Our stories. Our creativity. Our get-togethers. Because the joy we create every day is what makes us, us. Shop the Black History Month collection at Target.
For social media users joining us online and in the audience, please follow us at Nat Urban League on all platforms and take a moment to update your Facebook, Instagram, and X status using the hashtag NULCONF24. Don't forget to scan the barcode on the screen to download our 2024 NUL Conference app that will enhance your experience here this week. The app offers easy access to schedules, networking opportunities, and real-time updates. Also, please note that this event is being live-streamed. Welcome to the stage, Senior Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer for the National Urban League, Rhonda Spears Bell.
Come on, ladies. We're all just fine. Woo! There you go. Wow. Welcome to the National Urban League Women of Power Luncheon. Wow. And this year's event is extra special as we celebrate the 20th anniversary of women leaders, movers, and shakers. I love this segment of the conference every year. To look around this room and see nothing but beauty, intelligence, and vision, to celebrate the brilliance and positive impact we all hold in our hearts, minds, and in our hands. This is a beautiful moment every year. And ladies,
The New Orleans heat and rain may be testing our dues and makeup, but we are winning, aren't we? But can we pause for just one moment and give ourselves a round of applause for bringing so much black girl magic into this space? Come on, you can do better than that, ladies. Let me hear you all around the room. They need to hear you all the way outside. Beautiful, brilliant black women. We trust that you're already enjoying yourselves at this year's conference and everything that the conference has to offer. If you've not visited the Urban League Lounge Now, which just opened, it's the Urban League Lounge Now Experience and Lounge, then you're missing out. So please make sure that you go there. We have countless of giveaways, free headshots, and a review of your LinkedIn profile, as well as celebrity meet and greet. And of course, tomorrow includes a morning presidential plenary which promises to be informative and engaging. We have already received our charge from our president and CEO, haven't we? We have exciting forums, and of course, let me just tell you, don't miss tonight. Urban League Live, the Bayou Bash, that celebrates NOLA culture, is right here tonight. It's not here, but it is tonight at 8 p.m. And our signature soiree tomorrow night is the Whitty M. Young Jr. Awards Gala. It's a Mardi Gras ball, y'all. Are you excited about it? Now, by the time the last award is given at this very special event today, I can guarantee that this year's 20th anniversary of the Women of Power Awards Luncheon will owe us nothing. Today, we will honor 5 of the most incredible women of our day and time. And our host this afternoon is an equally incredible woman. Ladies and gentlemen, award-winning journalist Michelle Miller, National Correspondent, CBS News, co-host of CBS This Morning Saturday, New York Times best-selling author. Come on, give it up for Michelle Miller! That's your music. Hey! Women of Power! All of you are women of power out there, and men, you too. Welcome and good afternoon, everybody. Rhonda, is she not the best? Rhonda Spears-Bell, is she not the best? I will forever be grateful to the National Urban League for allowing me to host so many of you. This has become such an amazing platform. And wouldn't you know, in our 20th year, we are truly in the midst of the year of the woman. We have to pick up that applause. You know I love some energy, people. Are you in the mindset? Are you in the mindset for the 20th anniversary luncheon? Are you in the mindset to recognize and give proper adieu to some trailblazing women? Women leading our communities, women on the forefront of changing this country, women who are about serious business. But first, before we get to all of that, we want to pause and we're going to give thanks. We're going to be grateful. So to do that, one amazing, fabulous, brilliant pastor who is a New Orleans native and who I was baptized in her church, Dr. Debra Morton of Greater St. Stephen Full Gospel Church. Come on up here, sis. Sister Madam, to the podium to give our invocation.
Let's give it up for this fabulous woman, the First Lady. Come on, of Urban League. Michelle, I love you. You look beautiful. Yes, it's a time to celebrate. It's a time to celebrate women, but it's always a time to pray. Where are my people who believe in prayer? Wave your hand at me. All right, I got my sisters with me. Let's go to God in prayer. Bow your heads in reverence to God. Father, how we thank you so much for being here, for air to breathe, air to speak, and air to love on one another. It's the breath that you breathed into our bodies that caused us to even be here today. We say thank you. We thank you in this setting of women that they say it is the year of the woman, but you said you are my women since I birthed you. Even before we were in our mother's womb, you had purpose for us. So we say thank you. And now, Lord, in this season of political unrest and necessary good decisions, we've come to ask for your blessings, for your support, your help, your strength, and for all that you have assigned us to do. We say yes, Lord. We say yes to our careers. We say yes to our families, yes to our organizations, and yes to our God. Bless Mark Moriel. Bless the team. Bless all of us as we move in this season. Help us protect our rights, but then let us be free to move in purpose. Bless the food. Bless the celebration. Bless the fellowship. In Jesus' name we pray, and for his sake, we all agree by saying, amen.
We thank you, we thank you. We truly have so much to be grateful for, including the blessing of this gathering today in such a beautiful place. I just got to give it up to my boy Hiram Smith for this fabulous presentation out here. Someone backstage said, this is an HG makeover of this room, and I've seen it in so many spaces. This is what we call New Orleans fantastic. That's what we showcase, the best of. So please join me now in welcoming a native son, the man who has brought us all together in this beautiful league moment, the former mayor of this great city, and my hubby, Mark H. Morial, president of the National Urban League.
Good afternoon, and thank you so very, very much. Michelle, you said it all. Rhonda, you said it well. The Women of Power Luncheon is one of the most special segments of our conference. Now, I could not have imagined when we began this celebration of women in 2004 in Detroit, Michigan, that our first honoree at that event in Detroit, Kamala Harris, would 20 years later be a candidate for the presidency of the United States. So Urban Leaguers, in that 20-year period, an incredible array of beautiful, brilliant, successful women have been recognized by this Urban League movement, including many of our affiliate leaders, people from stage, people from screen, people from entertainment, judges, members of Congress, lawyers, mayors. We've recognized them. I'm especially excited to be here today. Of course, Michelle being here and hosting this is very special. But my original woman of power is in this audience right now. My original woman of power is my mother, Sybil Morial, who is in this audience, who taught me about phenomenal women. The ability to do 5 things at one time with her left hand, and 10 things at one time with her right hand, using one foot to kick us, another hand to encourage us. The original woman of power. My mother, who became, for me, my role model for women, was an accomplished professional woman. Went to Boston University as a classmate of Dr. King's. Returned here after serving as the first black teacher in the Newton, Massachusetts public school system. Came back to New Orleans to teach public school for almost 20 years in the desired public housing development at Dunn Elementary. And she transitioned after that to becoming a dean and an administrator at Xavier University, where she worked for 30 years before retiring. Now, she did all of this, while raising 5 rambunctious children. She did all of this by being at my father's side as his chief advisor and purveyor of good common sense in crises. And she did all of this while starting her own black women's civic organization when she and her friends were denied membership in the League of Women Voters. So I'm just so pleased she's here at 92 years young. And all I want to say is I love you, Mama. I love you, and I thank you for instilling in me a healthy respect for the equality and the power of women, which is what she has done. So thank you so much, Sybil Morial, for being here today. I'm going to give up this mic. I want to shout out all these phenomenal women who are going to be honored, but you'll hear their bios later. I just want to thank every one of them for what they do, for what they've done, for taking time out of demanding schedules to allow us to shower them with buckets of love and loads of respect today. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome.
He's great, isn't he? So this event, well, it promises to be a power-packed afternoon because we have actually never before had this many women of power on stage before. It is, well, there's just a load of queens here. That's all I can say. Queens, like literal, crowned fabulosity. And we're about to crown some more. We are going to begin with our first 2024 Woman of Power. Please help me congratulate Sheryl Underwood. Now, Cheryl's a prominent businesswoman. She's a philanthropist and a multifaceted entrepreneur. And she's highly regarded as one of the most articulate and well-informed women of our time. You know, most of you know her for her award-winning turn at CBS's The Talk, which attracts over 3 million viewers every day. But she is the owner also and CEO of Pack Rat Productions, driven by her desire to make a positive impact. Cheryl has founded the Pat Rack Foundation for Education, using her visibility and her influence to support causes like historically black colleges and universities and youth, further demonstrating her commitment to civic engagement. Underwood is also founder of Black Radio Solidarity, a collective of influential media properties and talent that use their platform for the greater good. She also spearheaded Black Radio Solidarity, Driving Souls to the Polls town halls, which harness the power of radio to encourage civic engagement. That is how we used to do it in cities and towns all across America. Doesn't happen like that anymore. So when people engage intentionally like that, it makes a difference. She is also the 23rd international president of her beloved Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, making her the only full-time entertainer to ever hold this prestigious post. She's done it all, and guess what? She is equally brilliant and funny and has a big heart. Ladies and gentlemen, our first 2024 Women of Power honoree, Miss Sheryl Underwood.
Thank you, Michelle, my colleague at CBS. We applaud you, we love you, and we want you to continue to be an example for others to follow. Am I right? Am I right, brothers and sisters? Am I right? We need to bring this energy up because I only have really a minute and a half. I know they said 2 minutes, but you shouldn't have never let me touch the microphone because I believe I'm a Baptist preacher in another life. But I'm going to stick to the time because I know we have things to do. Because when we leave this luncheon, we have to go out and truly do the business as women of power. All women in this room, clap. Clap for yourself. Clap for yourself. Clap for yourself because this is our time. This is our time to continue to lead as we lead our communities to reclaim our vote because our vote is our voice. We have to vote now more than ever. We have to defeat the enemies that are out there that don't want us to be full citizens of this United States. I traveled all the way from Indianapolis from our convention, all of the sorors of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. We just had our grand boule. But today, we all come together as Divine Nine organizations to effectuate. Come on, clap harder than that. Clap harder than that. Clap harder. Because we are going to use the Divine Nine to effectuate the 3 Ds, where we will defend democracy, we will demand diversity, and we will defeat poverty. So I want us to clap for the sponsors that are in the room. We couldn't do this without the businesses. That's why you come to the Urban League. That is why you come here. The country needs us. The country is looking for us to stand up. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm not telling you how old I am. Now, Michelle, you know, it's something under this wig. But when I was around, Shirley Chisholm, 1972, was the first woman to run for president. But now, we stand ready to elect the current vice president of these United States. Elevate her to the presidency of these United States. And I will tell you this, we must be strong. We must be strategic, and we must be sanctified. Why? Because you can talk all this, now I got to go to the street. You can talk all this smack you want to. You can say anything you want about her, because we're not listening to you because you're not talking about her. All that bullying, all that nastiness, all that disrespect, that's going toward the women they know, not the woman we're going to elect president of the United States. Am I right, brothers and sisters? So when they are out there disrespecting and disparaging, don't do nothing. Start planning. Get ready to get your buses together. Get ready to get everybody registered. Get ready to make sure that people can get their rights back. If it's okay to be a felon right now to run for president, then they need to give every felon their right to vote back. Take it off every application. Every application. We are ready. We are ready. We are ready. We are ready. And thank you to the Urban League, because it is time to reclaim our vote. Good afternoon.
I bet y'all fired up now. Give it up for Sheryl Underwood. I think somebody else might be running for president one day. She most certainly has the qualifications. We couldn't do what we do without our sponsors. That was the perfect segue to them. So let's just head on up. Let's welcome Vashti Canty, Managing Director, Equity Strategies with Delta Airlines.
After that, all I can say is let the church say, amen. Good afternoon. On behalf of more than 100,000 Delta employees worldwide, we welcome you to the 20th Annual Women of Power Awards Luncheon. We are proud to be celebrating trailblazing women, shaping our world and inspiring the next generation of women that will impact, uplift the communities they serve, work, and live in. Women all over the world are fighting for equity in society, the workplace, in education, in the home, and in policy. Gender equity is about justice, prosperity, and access for all. Although women's representation has increased across the pipeline since 2016, women, especially women of color, remain significantly underrepresented in leadership. At Delta, we are committed to the advancement of women and will continue to focus on their experiences in the workplace and empowering them to thrive in their careers. Research shows that companies who hire women in leadership produce better business results, and today's festivities emphasize the importance of diversity in the business sector and our dedication to supporting long-term collaborations with key strategic partners like the National Urban League. At Delta, our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion are unflinching, and the shared ownership of our mission across all levels of the organization. As DE&I continues to be operationalized as a business priority, much like safety, operational excellence in delivering elevated experiences to our customers, social impact will be the measure of accountability towards this mission, leveraging the influence of our brand to drive systematic change, not only for Delta people, but for the global communities we serve. Thank you.
That's what happens when you take your shoes off and think you can get a little comfortable. I should have just walked out here barefoot, right? No? Oh, come on now. Vashti, thank you so much. Strong partnership, that is what you are. We appreciate Delta Airlines. So now our second Women of Power Award is presented to Arian Simone. Now, ooh, look at that. We got some Divine Nine sisterhood in this audience. She is an accomplished entrepreneur, philanthropist, investor, best-selling author, and highly sought-after international speaker. She is widely recognized as a trailblazer in her industry, making significant contributions and empowering others along the way. Arian is the co-founder and CEO of something that has been in the news. It's called the Fearless Fund. If you haven't heard of what the Fearless Fund is, strike out your phone and go to another sponsor, Google, and Google it. It is a groundbreaking venture capital fund that is the first venture capital fund built for women of color by women of color, with a focus on investing in pre-seed, I'm learning something new, and Series A financing, which includes institutional investors such as JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, MasterCard, Ally Bank, and a whole lot more. Now, beyond her professional endeavors, Arian has embraced a regal role as the Queen of Dawa Grand Barabi in the African Ivory Coast. That is the homeland of my daughter. So it is with special care that I appreciate her business. In this capacity, she collaborates closely with Ivorian government officials to improve the welfare and uplift the lives of the people in her region. Arian's impact and influence have garnered widespread recognition with Entrepreneur magazine, naming her as one of the 100 women of impact. Her unwavering commitment to creating opportunities for women of color and her exceptional achievements in various fields truly set her apart as a dynamic and inspiring leader. Ladies and gentlemen, and she's got a bad suit on top of it. She can dress. Arian Simone.
2 minutes is a little tough. No, it's too short. Everybody, first of all, I want to just say thank you. Thank you, Mark, for your leadership. Thank you to the National Urban League. Thank you, Michelle. You guys have been there since day one of us being sued in a federal court case that is alleging that we are being discriminatory because we invest in Black and brown women. So thank you. My name is Arian Simone. I serve as the CEO of the Fearless Fund, the nation's first venture capital fund that is built by women of color for women of color. Thank you. We got into this space due to the racial disparities that exist in venture capital. Women of color are the most founded entrepreneurial demographic while being the least funded, receiving only 0.39% of venture capital funds while making up over 20% of the US population. Prior to the Fearless Fund, the average fundraise of a Black female was $30,000. Prior to the Fearless Fund, only 34 Black women had raised $1 million for their business. The Fearless Fund came on the scene cutting 7-figure checks. Thank you. The reason why this is so important is the level of denial to access of capital makes no sense. If you guys have heard already on this stage that diversity is just good business. And every diversity report proves that diverse teams outperform non-diverse teams on any given day. One of our founders, her name is, oh gosh, that just left me right when I said that. She's the founder of Partake, and she's number 45 on the Inc. 5000 list. Mrs. Woodard has an 8-figure business, over 20 million in revenue annually. And she comes to us on a Zoom and says, I'm scared to go back in the market right now to fundraise. And I'm like, you're scared to fundraise? I'm like, Denise, this makes no sense. I'm like, you've got 20 million in revenue. And she says, well, that's just how tough it is for Black women. That makes no sense. But that is also why it is so important that we show up and show out, as you guys already know, in this election, because our current vice president ran on the principles of access to capital being important for minority communities, and we will uphold that. And regardless of any fight currently, the Fearless Fund will continue to still be in business. We will continue to serve this community, and we will continue to win this fight. Thank you very much.
Again, you know, what we do is appreciate who we are, and we do it through the sponsorship of some amazing companies. So one of our sponsors is Jada Grandy Mock, Senior Vice President and Chief Community Impact Banking Officer with Fifth Third Bank. So step right on up. Step right on up, sis. Where'd you go? There you are. Come on to the stage, Jada.
Good afternoon. My name is Jada Grandy Mock, and I'm the Chief Community Impact Banking Officer at Fifth Third Bank. All of us at Fifth Third are excited to be back as sponsors of this year's luncheon in this beautiful city. It's always exciting to gather with you and celebrate women of power. And congratulations to all the inspiring honorees today. Fifth Third is a proud partner of the National Urban League and its regional affiliates in the markets we serve. Our Executive Vice President and Chief Corporate Responsibility Officer, Kalal Gibson, who also happens to be my boss or my leader, serves on the National Board of Directors, and Fifth Third bankers across our footprint serve on local Urban League boards. Together, our organizations are working in service to uplift African Americans, the underserved, and those who have been left out and left behind. In many cases, we get to do this with some amazing women of power. Women like Stephanie Hightower, Christy Coons, Nancy Flake Johnson, Karen Freeman-Wilson, and my personal favorite, Robin Lake Hamilton, who leads in my home of Charlotte, North Carolina. Together, Fifth Third and the Urban League are champions of economic mobility. We're champions of inclusion in the economy. We're champions of improving lives and creating generational wealth. And we're champions of revitalizing communities. It is what our innovative place-based neighborhood program is really all about. It's why we've just committed another $1 million to the National Urban League for workforce development, to advance the league's programs for urban apprenticeships, urban reentry, urban tech jobs, and urban youth. We are serious. We're all about doing the work that is making real, lasting, transformative change across the country. We do it for women of power. We do it for underserved communities. We do it because we know that when there is intentionality in what we do, we can be bridges to positive change and economic progress. It's not only the right thing to do, it is what we must do. Thank you.
Thank you, Jada, and thank you, Fifth Third Bank. Now back to our honorees. And our next 2024 Women of Power recipient is Karen Freeman-Wilson. Ooh, I like that. She began serving as president and CEO of the Chicago Urban League back in January of 2020. We remember that seemed to be a good year, and then it just all went to pot, and then it got good again. Sort of. She brings a passion for equity and social justice to the organization, which works to advance economic, educational, and social progress for African Americans through direct service and advocacy. Having served in the public arena for most of her professional life, Karen has like a deep experience in addressing issues that impact urban communities. I mean, she was mayor of her hometown of Gary, Indiana, from 2012 to 2019. She was the first female to lead the city of Gary and the first Black woman mayor in Indiana. Her mayoral accomplishments include job creation, completion of a $100 million airport runway relocation, the development of key areas in the city. She previously served as Indiana Attorney General, Director of the Indiana Civil Rights Commission, and presiding judge of the Gary City Court. What hasn't she done? She also served as Executive Director of the National Drug Court Institute and CEO of the National Association of Drug Court Professionals, where she is currently board chair. She is amazing and so understated. I need a big giddy up round of applause for this phenomenal woman, a woman of power in so many ways, Karen Freeman-Wilson.
I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. My soul shall make her boast in the Lord. The humble shall hear thereof and be glad. Oh, magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together. To our visionary and fearless leader, my brother, Mark Morial, and the entire National Urban League team. To my board chair, Suzette McKinney, and our chief operating officer, my boss, Calmetta Coleman, and our Chicago Urban League team. To all of my affiliate CEO colleagues and their teams who work on the battlefield every day. It is my esteemed and humbling privilege to accept this award with this group of phenomenal women. By honoring me, you honor the teachings and memory of my parents, Travis and Dolores Freeman, both of whom taught that to whom much was required, much was given, much is required. But my mother was a special example of what it meant to be a servant every day. By honoring me, you also honor our Chicago Urban League team, who are gracious enough to do all the work and let me take the credit. Five years ago, when I came to this movement, I was, by society standards, a loser. I had lost an election. But I had enough confidence in God and his grace to understand that sometimes when man says you lost, he says you won. And I did win because it gave me an opportunity to join all of you in riding for Black people every day of the week. Let me just close by saying this. A couple of weeks ago, my colleagues from Chicago and I took a group of our young people to Ghana. And I stood in the slave dungeons of the Cape Coast and thought about the sacrifice of our foreparents and the fact that they had not only sacrificed and survived those dungeons, but they survived the Middle Passage and then the brutality of the institution of slavery, so that we could enjoy the privileges that we have right now. How could we not do everything in our power to demand diversity, defeat poverty, and defend democracy? Thank you, and God bless you.
Wow, thank you so much. It is now my pleasure to introduce two sponsors of today's event. The first is a longtime friend of the League, Halima Delane Prado, General Counsel with Google, and Abigail James, Senior Vice President and Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer with Macy's.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, Michelle. It is wonderful to be back with you all for our annual Urban League Convention. Now, this conference is particularly special, not only because we are here in beautiful New Orleans, Mark's hometown, but because we are at an exciting time for our country. I'd like to thank Mark, the National Urban League Board, for the opportunity to be here today to speak at the Women in Power Luncheon. I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize fellow National Urban League Board members, affiliate presidents, board chairs and staff, national staff, young professional guild members, sponsors, and frankly, fellow civil rights leaders and advocates. Thank you for all the hard work on the ground of advancing progress for underserved communities across the country. It's a big job. As Google's General Counsel, I have the privilege of leading an extremely talented team of legal professionals tasked with advising on complex legal issues in the technological age. And I get to partner with our civil rights team to address some of the most important societal issues. Now, that's a lofty statement, but it's a great job to have at a time of technological advancement and opportunity for our people. And while we continue to develop cutting-edge technology like artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and more, we aren't building this technology in a silo. We know it is important work to work with all groups to make sure we create this technology in a responsible and inclusive way. That work and mandate, I know, is shared by the National Urban League. And we appreciate all that the League has done to help us build better products. Now, our commitment to the National Urban League runs deep, which is why, since 2020, we've invested nearly $10 million to support the great work being done here. But I'm personally proud that the National Urban League was one of the first grantees for our AI Essentials investments. Now, we are building on years of partnership and affiliates to deliver digital skills training and resources to members of our community. Your deep expertise in workplace development, job placement, and community building is inspiring to us and allows us to achieve our mission. But enough about that. Let's get to the real reason why we're here: to honor 5 truly impressive Black women. If you don't clap for them, it's actually offensive, so come on, come on. I don't have to tell this group, and you've already heard from Michelle and others, but Black women have long been charting progress in our communities and our workplaces. Now, today's luncheon is an important moment to elevate this tradition and celebrate all the women in this room who are carrying the torch by continuing the work. It makes me proud to be a National Urban League board member today and see the incredible women honored at this luncheon. A hearty, heartfelt congratulations to everyone, and I hope you continue to enjoy the program. Thank you.
We're more than a store. We're a destination for customers, communities, and cultures making memories, celebrating life. Your purchases reveal your values, and we value you, the customers who inspire us to dream bigger and be bolder. So we continue to give back to communities and causes that matter to you and lift you up. And whoever you are authentically is who we welcome sincerely. We aim to always create a brighter future with bold representation for all.
Hello everyone. My name is Abigail James and I'm the Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer at Macy's, Inc. And I'm so excited to be here with all of you today in this fabulous room for this fabulous session. On behalf of the 85,000 colleagues across Macy's, Bloomingdale's, and Bluemercury, we are committed to our long-standing partnership with the National Urban League to support the crucial work that they are doing to defend democracy, demand diversity, and defeat poverty. It is an absolute honor to stand on this stage as we celebrate and congratulate the Women of Power honorees and the continuous work that they are doing. As I look around this room, I'm also congratulating all of us because I'm reminded of what we can and will accomplish together. You see, when a lot of women are together in the same place, iron sharpening iron, supporting, encouraging, inspiring each other to dream bigger and be bolder. As you just saw through our platform, Mission Everyone, we are committed to creating a brighter future with bold representation for all. One of the ways we're doing this is by empowering more voice, choice, and ownership for our colleagues, customers, vendors, and community partners. Macy's is so incredibly proud to co-sponsor today's luncheon and to share in this moment. We acknowledge all of you for your vision, your voice, fortitude, resilience, and especially sisterhood, which is what making all of us women of power. So thank you very much and enjoy the luncheon. Congratulations, Raul.
I don't know why I always feel rushed to get back on stage. Do you see any other MCs that like run up to the stage like I do? Because I work for you guys. Thank you, Halima and Abigail, for being such great friends to the National Urban League. So we're going back to these incredible women, the Women of Power recipients in the year that is 2024. And our next one is, she's pretty spectacular. Swin Taylor Marie Swin Cash. Former WNBA player Swin Cash is a vice president of basketball operations and team development with the New Orleans Pelicans. Just to remind everybody, that's the team that the former mayor, Mark H. Morial, brought to the city of New Orleans when nobody thought he could. You talk about bringing the headquarters back to Harlem, he knows about doing the impossible. I'm so proud of him, I just can't say enough. But back to Swin Cash. She was a winner on the basketball court and an astounding woman who continues to make a difference in the lives of many people outside the confines of the court. On the hardwood, she won 2 collegiate championships at where else? The University of Connecticut. 3 WNBA championships and 2 Olympic gold medals. She is the bomb diggity, and she understands what purpose and what practicing purpose is all about. Ladies and gentlemen, Swin Cash, who started 2 foundations, one called Cash Building Blocks, which aims to make a positive impact in the lives of kids and to make affordable housing available to low-income families, respectively. For all that work outside the lines, was twice awarded the WNBA Cares Community Assist Award in 2011 and 2016. We cannot go without saying that her name, Swin Taylor, means astounding woman. It certainly is benefiting and reflects the tremendous impact on the lives she has made on so many people. Ladies and gentlemen, now I can say it. Ladies and gentlemen, Swin Taylor Marie, Swin Cash.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm gonna lift this up a little bit. I try to wear my kitten heels, but at 6'1", you know. I am honored and blessed to be here today. I do wanna give you a little correction though. I don't know if you heard. It's now the Senior Vice President of Basketball Operations for the New Orleans Pelicans.
I said, when did that happen?
Yes, recently. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of news there.
I appreciate that,
Thank
girl.
you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And I wanted to say that because as a Black woman to hold that honor, one of the highest ranking women in the NBA, it is important that my sisters and young women are able to see and experience that. Thank you to the National Urban League. Thank you to Mark. Thank you to everyone that made this room look this beautiful, that got us all in here today and had the convening power to bring us together as a people. I truly, truly appreciate it. I also would like to take a moment to thank the sponsors. As someone who owns multiple businesses that works in the sports world, I know it is not always easy to get people to show up, to cut checks, and to be present. So a round of applause for the sponsors because you continue to pour into the Urban League, and that has to stay true for the work to continue. I also want to just take this time to talk about the sports world because this is an important year, and I think one thing about the NBA and the WNBA is we don't walk around quiet and we don't shut up and play sports. We use our platform to make sure that we can let everyone know their opportunities through voting, through getting involved. And I think this is a year where so much is going on in our country and around the world that although the Olympics is happening right now, trust and believe when those athletes get back, they will be stepping up to the plate and making sure they're using sports as a vehicle to get the message out there about how important this election year is. And so I'm so happy to also work for an organization that will have our players and our staff and our whole organization pushing for people to be involved and to have their voices heard. So I am truly, truly happy for that. And I also just want to quickly talk briefly about all the women that are here today and the women that are being honored, women of power. I understand as a Black woman, it's not always easy waking up every day, showing up for our jobs, being present as moms, being daughters, being all these different things. But yet and still, when we lay our head on that pillow, we wake up the next day and we stand and we move forward. And so I just want to thank you because you're always touching and affecting someone's life. And for me with sports, I'm able to use sports as a vehicle with my job to connect with other women. The last 2 years, I started a company, She's Got Time for a Reason. And with this company, it wasn't about me. I went into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, and as I was writing my speech, God was really pouring into me and speaking to me. And he said, it's time for one door to close and another to open. And so when we started She's Got Time, I realized throughout my 15-year career playing in the WNBA, playing overseas and all these different things, I had strong allies as men that were there for me. I had people sharing information that helped me. And there was always someone along the way. And as I looked at all the other women and I looked at my position in sports, I realized we needed a platform to make sure that other women had the convening power, the shared information, the understanding of negotiation, so that you can get these jobs, keep these jobs, and get elevated. Far too often, we're working in sports, and there's a male-dominated sport, male-dominated industry. Great. That doesn't mean that there aren't careers. That doesn't mean there's not careers, not only playing the game, running teams, being an attorney, being a manager, being a director, operations, business side, sports side. There's so many opportunities, and I feel like it is my job as someone in my position to continue to move things forward, to make other women have opportunities for equity, to build wealth, and to know that you don't just have to play the game, to know how to evaluate the game, run the game, be in charge of the game, and anything else we want to do. So as this year continues forward, and I'm blessed to have the opportunity that I have, my challenge to all of us is, the good word says, to whom much is given, much is required. Much is required of each and every one of us in this room as we leave here today. How are you going to make somebody else better? At your workplace, in your family, in your group chat, how are you going to make them better? I'll do my part. My challenge is for all of us to do ours. Thank you so much.
That was Senior Vice President of Basketball Operations and Team Development for the New Orleans Pelicans. Got to get my facts straight. Now we will hear from Ramey Kent. She is Chief Marketing Officer with Progressive Insurance, and LaCarrie Jackson, Global Director of Social Impact at UPS. So folks, please help me welcome them to the stage.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much for the warm introduction and having me here today. As you just heard, I serve as the Chief Marketing Officer for Progressive Insurance, but that's what I do for a living. Let me tell you a little bit about who I am. So I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, ATL, yes, love that. I am a mother of a 17-year-old son. I went to Florida A&M University, so Rattlers, get it in, yes. And I am just really, really proud to be here in front of you today. I deeply understand the world in which we live in and the challenges that we have as Black Americans. So I joined Progressive because I believe that Progressive is committed to helping people make progress in the world. You would hope so, it's in our name, we should be about that, right? And it's at the heart of everything we do. We exist to help people move forward and live fully. And as I think about my 17-year-old son, I do this work because I'm deeply committed to driving progress in 3 key areas where we provide protection. On the road, you know that Black drivers are 3 times more likely to experience force on the road. As a mother to a Black son, we have to get our families home safe. In the home, we are working to help families get into the home, stay in their homes, and also realize the true value of their homes by enabling greater access and fairness in housing. And lastly, with small businesses, we're helping entrepreneurs and small business owners have access to the funding that they need. So we're fully committed to progress, and I need your help. So here's my ask. There's a prompt card at your table, and I would ask that you just take your lovely phones out and scan it. There's so much power in this room, and I want to make sure that Progressive understands the power that we have and that we're committed to help society. I'm committed, and I hope you are too, so join us in making progress. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am LaCarrie Jackson, Global Director of Social Impact at UPS. And I am deeply honored to stand before this remarkable gathering of fearless and influential, resilient, beautiful, and visionary group of women and allies. As I look around the room, I see epitomes of courage, strength, and just vibrant and energy that we all have and that we all embody. Despite our unique challenges, we stand united in our commitment to create a more equitable and inclusive world. That is demonstrated by our presence here at the conference this year and at this luncheon today. Our collective power is undeniable. And so at UPS, we're more than just the brown trucks. Our mission to create transformative opportunities for underserved and underrepresented women, youth, and marginalized communities is central to the theme of this year's conference. For over 60 remarkable years, we have steadfastly supported the National Urban League, investing nearly $30 million in its mission and vision. Thank you. And we're proud of this partnership. Furthermore, UPS champions women's economic empowerment by leveraging our expertise and resources to support women-owned and women-led businesses and entrepreneurs. And right here, I want to pause and thank Nancy Flake Johnson and her team with Urban League of Greater Atlanta for allowing us to test some of our women's programs through their facility. It is through public-private partnerships, like with the National Urban League, that we've unlocked tremendous potential over the last 5 years especially. Hundreds of jobs have been created for women. Millions of dollars has been generated in investment opportunities. And what's more, over 120,000 women have been empowered with export skills and capacity building initiatives. This initiative and the work that we're trying to do to support women fosters an inclusive ecosystem. But the work doesn't stop there. Each of us plays a crucial role in fostering a more equitable and inclusive world, whether that's through mentorship, advocating, or simply using our voices to speak up for what is right. And so as we celebrate the exceptional Women of Power honorees today, let us remember that our power lies not only in our individual achievements, but in our ability to lift others as we rise. Together, we are stronger, and our impact is amplified when we stand in solidarity. So, women of power and allies who are in the room, let us rise, unite, and be unstoppable. It is our time to leave an indelible mark on the world. Thank you for your time.
We got the shoulder memo. I like that. Thank you both for supporting the Urban League the way you do, and also for just making us so proud. They're phenomenal women in their own right. Our next 2024 Women of Power recipient is Kim M. Boyle. This is a native daughter, folks. She is pretty special to so many people in this room. As Vice Managing Partner in Phelps' New Orleans office, Attorney Kim M. Boyle focuses on her labor and employment practice on civil rights, constitutional law, commercial, tort, and general litigation issues. That means she does everything. She helps businesses promote inclusion and avoid discrimination. She frequently speaks on employment-related topics, litigation and issues of procedure, as well as diversity, ethics, and professionalism. Kim has been recognized by many of the leading peer-reviewed publications in the country, including recently as one of Benchmark Litigation's top 250 women in U.S. litigation, an American lawyer woman leader in law, a New Orleans city business icon, and a member of the National Lawyers of Color 2023 Power List. She is also awarded, or has been awarded, the Chief Justice Burnett Johnson Trailblazer Award in 2023 for her commitment to enhancing diversity and inclusion in the legal profession. And for those of you who don't know who Justice Johnson is, she was the first Black woman Chief Justice and also the first Black woman on the Louisiana Supreme Court. And she was also a former woman of power, so you just got to get that in. Active in local, state, and national bar associations, Kim has been busting ceilings for as long as I've known her, having served as the first woman African-American president of the Louisiana State Bar Association, as well as the first African-American president of the New Orleans Bar Association. She is, what else? She's a fabulous lawyer, she's a fabulous friend, and now she's a 2024 Woman of Power. Ladies and gentlemen, Kim M. Boyle.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Michelle. I am so deeply honored to be recognized by the National Urban League, one of our most preeminent civil rights organizations in this country. And this organization recognizes that it is African American women in this country who have driven change and have set the bar for exceptional service and achievement. For those of you who were at the Reclaim Your Vote rally at our beloved Xavier University yesterday afternoon, you would have heard Dr. Michael Eric Dyson say the following about Black women. He said that Black women define what DEI actually is, and it shows why the MAGA world and the far right are so threatened by DEI. Because all of us as powerful Black women are determined, we are engaged, and we are insightful. We actually define what DEI is. There is absolutely nothing that we cannot do because all of us have the brilliance, all of us have the talent, all of us have the skill, all of us have the grit, all of us have the determination to change the course of this nation's history. So we all heard our National League president, Mark Morial, remind us this morning, he reminded us at the press conference yesterday, that the first recipient of the National Urban League's Woman of Power Award is our Vice President, soon-to-be President, Kamala Harris, who has already changed and will completely change the course of this nation's history as the first woman and the first woman of color to be sworn in as President of the United States. But we stand at this most critical and perilous time in our nation's history, in this fragile democracy that is America. We are all women of power. We all stand on the shoulders of giants such as Harriet Tubman, who Dr. Dyson reminded us yesterday literally had to bring some of us to freedom, kicking and screaming. We stand on the shoulders of Barbara Jordan. We stand on the shoulders of Shirley Chisholm. We stand on the shoulders of Daisy Bates. We stand on the shoulders of Constance Baker Motley. We stand on the shoulders of Madam C.J. Walker. We stand on the shoulders of Ida B. Wells. We stand on the shoulders of Althea Gibson. We stand on the shoulders of Mrs. Sybil Morial. We stand on the shoulders of Chief Justice Burnett Johnson. But we also stand on the shoulders of millions more whose names we don't know and who are not famous, but they were courageous Black women of power like my mother, Connie Dolores Williams Boyle. So I'm deeply honored to be recognized with powerhouse women like Sheryl Underwood, Arian Simone, Karen Freeman-Wilson, and Swin Cash, and I accept this award in my mom's memory. And my mom passed on April 19th, so this means so very, very much to me. Thank you all. Thank you, National Urban League.
So proud of her. So well deserved. And now for our final sponsor of today's event. Please help me welcome Kiera Fernandez, Executive Vice President and Chief Community Impact and Equity Officer with one of your favorite brands, Target. Or should I say, Target.
Thank you so much. I didn't know I was going to get Nicki Minaj. Hey. Before I start my remarks, I just wanted to share something because my sister was on here earlier talking about partake. So if you would just humor me, and everybody could pull out your phone right now and go to your Target app. If you don't have it, take notes and put in partake. And you can find a lovely assortment of partake items. Cookies that are delicious and nutritious and gluten-free. So we have something for everyone. Partake is one of 400 women-owned brands at Target. Those 400 brands also account for almost 1,000 people of color and women-owned brands. And if cookies are not what's on your eating plan right now, you can certainly get some Tabitha Brown dill pickle salads, which are delicious. And if you're feeling festive, you could check out our Future Collective and find beautiful apparel from leading artists that are partnering with us. And I wanted to start there because, as many of my peers and colleagues have shared from the back, you can say something and you can do others. And at Target, we're about the do. So download the app if you don't have it yet. Okay, that's my Target disclaimer. Now, again, thank you guys so much. I could hear everybody eating in the back. I can't wait to sit down and partake in the meal as well. But it's truly a blessing and an honor to be here to represent Target. Our entire Target team, they're sitting over here at the table and some in other parts of the room, here to just pay homage to the National Urban League and really think about this beautiful celebration as we think about women in power. I've never seen a room like this in real life. I've been to some really nice weddings, but this is spectacular. So the team has done an incredible job of allowing us to celebrate this moment and each other. Again, thank you to the National Urban League, to Mark Moriel, to all of the affiliates for making this moment possible. I stand before you, as I mentioned, as a leader for a company that is truly and fully invested in the power of women. It's deeply embedded in our culture, and it's part of who we are and what we stand for. I mentioned this earlier this morning at the kickoff convening, that Target has more than 400,000 team members, and more than half of those team members are women. We also, in our almost 2,000 stores, places of joy and online, like we just mentioned, like I just shared, to millions of Americans, celebrate the joy of Women in Power, as almost half of our stores are run by women. I actually, in my Target career, had the honor and the privilege of running a Target store in my hometown of Phoenix, Arizona. And I can tell you the lessons of leadership that come from those positions are incredible. So for anyone in this room that started your career as a frontline leader, a frontline worker, the folks in here that are graciously serving us as we partake in this moment, I salute you, and Target salutes you. In addition to our store leadership, almost half of our leadership team, my peers, are also fierce, powerful women. So to be in these gatherings, representing Target, and to be greeted onto the stage with Nicki Minaj is an experience that most don't get. They really don't. And I'm sure my friends and colleagues will be really envious of. But it just is another affirmation of the special magic that comes between partnerships with shared vision, shared goals, shared outcomes, and shared priorities that are actually about impacting the lives of people. Impacting the lives of people in communities. Impacting us not just in the moment, but for the long term. And we at Target are truly, truly appreciative of the National Urban League's investment in all of those things. We celebrate diversity, equity, and inclusion. We celebrate the multiple dimensions of difference that make this country and the world around us great. And we believe deeply that a seat at the table means nothing if you don't have a plate, silverware, a glass, plate on the food, and a full beverage to enjoy that seat at the table and think about how you can impact others. Again, so grateful and thankful to be here. We appreciate the partnership with National Urban League, and we just really, really, really implore all of you to think about how we can each bring a little bit of joy to each other's lives with kindness, grace, gratitude. And download the Target app if you don't have it yet. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy your lunch.
Thanks so much, Kiera and Target, and we truly appreciate the generosity of all the sponsors. Our next group of Women of Power awardees represents 41 years of brilliance, extraordinary talents, and stellar accomplishments. It was 41 years ago that Vanessa Williams was crowned as our very first Black Miss America. Can you believe it? I think I was some years old. We want to take a moment to honor her, and in doing so, we're so excited to have 6 of the 9 Black Miss Americas, 2 back-to-back, here with us today. Our first Miss America, Debbie Turner Bell, Miss America 1990. Now, Debbie Turner Bell is a veterinarian, an author, a journalist, a corporate trainer, a minister, a motivational speaker, a wife, and a mother. Back in August of 2020 marks the publication of her book, Courageous Faith, A Lifelong Pursuit of Faith Over Fear. For more than 2 decades, she has addressed audiences in corporate, academic, and community service areas. And oh, by the way, she is my former colleague, and I dare say I would have not gotten through my first years at CBS News without her. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Debbie Turner Bell. And next is Kimberly Aiken Cockrum, Miss America 1994. Today, Kimberly Aiken Cockrum is president and CEO of Baker Eubanks, a minority and female-owned firm. They are a leader in conducting executive due diligence investigations to verify the backgrounds of a company's most sensitive hires. She has also served on the board of directors for Miss South Carolina, during which time she raised tens of thousands of dollars for the scholarship with her annual golf tournament. She's just she's a badass fundraiser. I've got to say that. because I've done some with her. But she's also the second Miss America that got me through, and that is the rearing of my two fabulous children in South Orange, Maplewood. I cannot thank her enough. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this. I got friends. Kimberly Aiken Cockrum. Please join me in welcoming Erica Harold, Miss America 2003. Now, Erica Harold is the Illinois Supreme Court Commission on Professionalism's Executive Director. It's a mouthful, but it's a big deal. An advocate for civility, ethics, and inclusion, she leads the Commission's extensive educational programming focused on advancing professionalism among the state's lawyers and judges to build confidence in the justice system. We need that more now than ever. Before joining the Commission, Erica was a litigation attorney at Meyer Capel, PC, in Champaign, Illinois, representing clients at the trial and appellate levels in disputes regarding fiduciary and contractual obligations. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Erica Harold. Up next, Erica Dunlap, Miss America 2004, back-to-back winners right here in case you weren't noticing. Now, Erica Dunlap is a visionary businesswoman and community leader who rose to national acclaim during her junior year at the University of Central Florida, when she became the first and only Black woman to be crowned Miss Florida in the 100-year history of the program. And then later that year, won the title of Miss America. Today, she is the CEO of Crown Communication Group, a multidisciplinary strategic communications and public relations consulting firm in Orlando, Florida. Erica has served for community for more than 3 decades as a mentor, board member, and trusted advisor, a motivational speaker, entertainer, and champion for diversity, equity, and inclusion best practices in workplaces like universities and communities across the country. Give it up for Erica Dunlap. And then Caressa Cameron Jackson. Caressa. I promised to say it right. Did I say it right? Caressa Cameron Jackson. Yes, she was 2010's Miss America. Since her reign, Caressa Cameron has been the recipient of numerous congressional honors and the President's Volunteer Service Award in recognition of her advocacy and policy work for people living with HIV/AIDS in the United States. She has spoken to over 100,000 students regarding making healthy choices and taking your future by storm. And an accomplished vocalist, she had the honor of performing during the 2008 presidential inauguration. Born at the intersection of creativity, love, and logistics, I like that, Caressa launched Caress by Design, a luxury wedding and event planning company. Ladies and gentlemen, Caressa Cameron. And last but certainly not least, Nia Franklin, Miss America 2019. Now, Nia Amani Franklin is a composer, actress, conductor, and singer who has had her music performed by the Dallas Symphony Orchestra, Friction Quartet, Saskatoon Symphony Orchestra, and many others. In September of 2021, she released her EP, Extended, which featured her R&B songs and her orchestra piece, Chrysalis Extended, which has nearly 4 million views on her TikTok profile. In 2019, Nia founded Compose Her, an initiative that seeks to empower women in music. She also serves on the board of Opera on Tap, which is a nonprofit organization based in New York City and dedicated to making opera accessible to all. Ladies and gentlemen, Nia Franklin.
Good evening to all of you. It is my great privilege to be able to accept this award on behalf of all of my Miss America sisters. I suppose that I was selected to make the remarks because I'm the oldest. And I'm so old that Nia Franklin wasn't even born when I won Miss America. I feel some kind of way about that. My guess is there are some of you out in the room that probably weren't born back in 1890 when I won the pageant. First of all, we want to just say thank you. Thank you so much for this wonderful honor. I'm going to say more in just a second. Thank you to President Mark Morial, who made this possible. And I want to explain to you sort of how we ended up here. But I first of all just want to express appreciation from all of my African-American Miss America sisters. I bring you greetings also from Marjorie Vincent Tripp, who was not able to be here with us today. And you will actually hear from the very first African-American Miss America, Vanessa Williams. We all brought our crowns up just because we're pageant girls. We thought it'd be a good photo. But I don't want you to be fooled by these crowns. You heard the introductions for each of these women. They are all strong, powerful, passionate, accomplished women. Before you are entrepreneurs, business owners, a Harvard-educated attorney, a model, event planner, community advocate. I am a doctor of veterinary medicine, a consultant, and a pastor. And so we all, though we've come from, praise the Lord, to God be all the glory. We've come from different parts of the country. We've had different paths, and we had different trajectories that took us to the Miss America stage. But one thing that we all have in common is that we were told somewhere along the way to our journey to the Miss America stage that it wasn't possible. We were told that we weren't the right type. We were encouraged to acquiesce and assimilate to dominant culture and cookie cutter molds in order to be successful in this system. But each of us in our own individual ways were afforded the opportunity to be able to just be authentically ourselves. And by the grace of God, we achieved success in the Miss America system. But it was hard fought, it was tough, it was not easy, there were many tears. However, again, by God's grace, we made it. I would like to say to you, just as a word of encouragement, that although we are standing here holding a crown, I believe with every fiber of my being, each and every one of us were created to wear our own crown. You were created by an awesome and an excellent God, and He put excellence and greatness in you to achieve your purpose and your success. And I want to encourage you, whatever your purpose is, whatever that tingling in your belly, in your soul that you've had since you were young, to not allow conventional wisdom, statistics, or even just mean, hateful, jealous people to stop you from getting your crown in life. I want to finish by saying this. Being seen is essential in life. We all want to be seen, but it's not always automatic. And not being seen, even as Miss Americas, is how we ended up here today. A few months ago, there was a great honor where a number of Miss Americas memorabilia was inducted into the Smithsonian Museum. And they were Miss Americas who represented firsts. First Miss America with a disability, the first Miss America from a Pan-Asian background, and other firsts. However, the first African-American Miss America, Vanessa Williams, was not invited to be a part of the inclusion of the introduction of this memorabilia into the Smithsonian Institute, nor were any of us invited to be a part of it. And we got together, you know how girls do. We talked amongst ourselves and we vented, but Kim Aiken Cochran did something more than just talked and complained with us. She put in a phone call to her dear friend, Mark Morial, and he immediately said, well, if the Miss America pageant won't see you, the National Urban League will. And Mark, I want to thank you. I don't know where he is, but I thank you. We're here because of your graciousness. There's a scripture. I'm a pastor, so I got to finish with a scripture, but I won't take up an offering. It says, be immovable, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that your labor is not in vain. We are living witnesses that dreams do come true, that hard work does pay off, and that when we stick together as a people, there is no limit. There's an old saying that says, go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. Well, we feel celebrated today, and we want to say thank you. God bless you.
Oh, ain't that right? They are every woman and more. Oh, give it up for Debbie Turner. Now you know why she was my sail, my North Star in storms I can't even talk about. Wasn't even in the book. Whoo, I love that woman. Anyway, they're all fabulous, and we are so pleased to share the special message from our very first Black Miss America.
Hey everyone, it is Vanessa Williams, and I won Miss America back in 1983. I was the first African American woman to hold the title of Miss America, and I am so sorry I can't be with all of you today. I'm in Plymouth, England, and I am starring in A Devil Wears Prada, and so that's why we are out of town here. But I want to thank you for inviting me to say a few words and reflect on 41 years since I won as a wee 20-year-old lass. I had no idea that I would be shattering the glass ceiling, and it gave me an overwhelming sense of pride and achievement, and it allowed me to realize my dreams. I'm literally on stage, which is exactly what I said 41 years ago when I said that I was a junior at Syracuse University majoring in musical theater. So here you are, and here I am, and I'm living my dream, and I want to thank the community of people that have supported me through the years, through the ups and downs. Of course, my family, my friends. I've been blessed to be able to do what I love, and that is truly an honor and a blessing. So thank you for allowing me to introduce such an amazing group at the Urban League. And as I said in song, the legs of the last to go, they're still holding me up, they're still kicking, and we are still moving strong. So I want to celebrate 40 plus years of Miss America to all my beautiful sisters who are thriving with dignity and grace, and love you all. So have a wonderful, wonderful time, and enjoy the National Urban League. Congratulations to everybody. Wish I could be there, but wonderful job to all the honorees. Cheers.
The real deal, everybody, always held her head up high and was always involved in the community. I remember meeting her for the first time in 1989. She was something else then and remains to be something else now. Cannot wait to see her in action in The Devil Wears Prada. Now, we can imagine what winning Miss America must have been like. It certainly was a mountaintop experience for each of you. Folks, come on out here. I want to see you up here on stage. We have all of these fabulous women who, go ahead, I missed the cue. I don't know what I was supposed to do. Just come on here and dance, 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 dance. All the queens. Oh, we're going to sit down now. That's okay. You didn't mind that, like, sort of impromptu little moment. We're going to talk about, because I really want to dig in here, and they gave me one question to ask all of you, but I can't do that because I'm a journalist. Because I have to dig into that moment. And beyond the crown, because you live in the moment for a year for an organization, but beyond the crown is the rest of your life. And how, I'm going to start with someone who probably is like the 2019 winner here. When you think of what that means, how do you live beyond when you see something that is determining like your place in space and what that underline means of what happened this year?
Absolutely. I feel so honored to be among this group, and I was just saying backstage to Kim, the first Black Miss America who I had the pleasure of meeting was Debbie Turner, and so I looked up to you so much, and so solidifying my place in history was something I never really dreamed about as a young girl or anything like that, so to be among you all is such a blessing. The moment when I won, it's definitely etched in my memory, and so I'm so grateful to be a part of history, and I know that we still have to keep fighting for our rights to be seen, our right to be heard, and it's up to us to continue pushing for the people that come behind us, the people that come behind me, so I'm just really grateful and honored.
Yeah, I know. Here you are, the youngest of us all, and this is a pivotal year. You came of age right before an election. How involved do any of you guys get in the GOTV, the Get Out the Vote? Have you been there on the forefront, and where will you be come 2024?
Well, I ran for office twice and lost, and so I have gotten out the vote a lot. So my take on getting out the vote, especially for this election, is that we as a people, it is incumbent upon us to prioritize, organize, and galvanize. We don't have time to sit idle and allow for anything other than the outcome that we want to see to actually occur. So we need to not just get together in instances like this, but we also need to make sure that we're going back to our communities and making sure that people are registered to vote, making sure that they know when they can get their mail-in ballots, and ensuring that they actually exercise their right to vote.
How do you do that? And I have to say, you certainly have also been in the forefront of an election. I hate that I'm on the election, but it is the sign of this time. Am I right about that, or am I not right about that? Am I right about that? So what is that first step for each one of you?
I think one of the first steps is recognizing your voice and being committed to standing up for other women if they're not treated in a respectful and dignified way. Regardless of your political affiliation or who you're going to vote for, we all have a vested interest in seeing women of color treated fairly and treated competently and treated with the dignity that they deserve. And that's how I think we should use our voice. We should recognize that when we see someone who looks like us up there, they may not represent everything that we believe, but they represent the possibility for each and every one of us to use our voice. So with our crowns, with our platforms, I think we all look to make sure that we edify, that we amplify, and that we elevate Black women.
And what I love about this range of women is they crisscross the spectrum on every different level. I mean, yes, they're Black women, but they have completely different beliefs, completely different, well, I shouldn't say different, but they have a range of beliefs and a range of causes and a range of entrepreneurial spirit. And I want to throw it to you, Ms. Cochran, because I know you're both an entrepreneur, but you've worked in the healthcare field. And so from one range to another, what do you see are the two central issues that are not just in this election, but are key for this community to be working on beyond your crown?
Well, I would say there's two things. First of all, as the mother of two young people, one 22 and one 20, we have to get our young people out to vote. We have to be sure that their voices are heard, that they are registered, especially if they're in college or wherever they are, that they are registered and their voices are heard and they are a part of this historic event. And the other thing I would say is I think it's very important too for Black women and all women that we stand up for our rights as far as healthcare is concerned. I am a proud breast cancer survivor, 5.5 years cancer-free. And with the Miss America crown,
the education that I have, the fact that I have a healthcare background. My parents were also in the healthcare industry. I was the victim of being told, you're fine. Go home, let's wait 6 months, let's do more tests. I knew in my gut that was not right, and I saved my own life. And so I think it is very important that we speak up about Black women, women of color, and give women a voice to say when they feel that there's something not right in their health care and in their bodies.
Absolutely. Caressa, what does going beyond the crown in this relevant era that we are living today mean to you?
So I think by and large, people have started to feel like, oh, maybe pageants are archaic and they're outdated and that sort of thing, right? I think what going beyond the crown means is recognizing the leverage that the crown provides. Sometimes it opens the doors for us to get into places and do things that normal people wouldn't be able to do, right? And so we have all taken the responsibility among ourselves that when we open those doors, we kick them down, we say the things that people might not want to hear, but we're bringing people behind us. And so for me, it has always been saying the thing out loud that people might not want to hear. And so for me, that's going beyond the crown. It's beyond the shiny, it's beyond, all of the aesthetics of it, but it's the nitty-gritty of what does our communities need and what can I do to provide access to equitable inclusion for that.
Truthair. And the Truthair I was in business with, whose office was right next door to mine, who so often was the shoulder I cried on, and I was the shoulder she cried on. How do you effectively engage not just women of color, but all women and all people who love people? How do you get them to engage in a way that they understand that, this is a human race? I mean, I know that's part of your whole messaging, and you do it so well through your faith.
Thank you. So a couple of things come to mind that I just want to share. First of all, being able to take an active part in the civil process that we have here in this democracy, this experiment that we have, is a privilege. And very often we take it for granted. We think that it's always going to be there, and then we can dip in and out as we so choose or as our emotions would dictate. But what I've learned at my ripe old age is that we can take nothing for granted. And the era in which we live right now is proof of that. I want to tell a very quick story. Just at my year after Miss America, I had the honor and the privilege to be able to do a speaking tour in South Africa. And this was just at the beginning of the end of apartheid. So there was still a lot of unrest, and there was still a lot of segregation. A lot of the Black South Africans still lived on the periphery, but they were migrating into cities like Johannesburg, and they'd find a plot of land and just squat and claim it because it was the first time they could live anywhere other than in a township. And so we went into one of these areas, and I took my mother with me to South Africa because I figured nobody could protect me like my mama. And we went into one of the townships, and we were greeted by a gentleman by the name of Phineas, who was an elder in the church that I was going to be speaking at. And this was the most deplorable poverty I had ever seen in my life. And I grew up in Arkansas, so I've seen some poverty. The landscape was just terrible, and the people were just desperately poor, but they were proud. They walked with their backs straight, and they were dressed in crisp white clothing, coming home from working as domestics in the city. And I remember looking around at all of this desperation and this poverty and these people who had been marginalized and disenfranchised, when in fact they were the majority in that country. And my mother turned to me, and I'll never forget this. She's now gone on to be with the Lord, but she said, "Deborah Lynn Turner," she called me by all my name, and she goes, "Do you understand that with your same intellect, with your same beauty, with your same talents, but with that black skin, if you had been born in this country, this is the best you could have hoped for?" And it reoriented me on the privilege. Yes, we have a lot of problems in this country, but we have the opportunity to be able to participate and to be able to determine our own future by participating. And so whether it is voting or running for office or being on the school board or taking a leadership role, it is incumbent upon us, because we've been given a divine privilege. And oh, what a shame it would be for us to sit back and allow someone else to determine our future and us not step into what we've been given divinely.
Amen. Amen, sisters, ladies. Oh my goodness. Thank you all for participating in this way. Thank you for standing up and speaking out. Thank you for being resistant to being neglected. Because you are not. You are loved, and you are loved by so many communities out there. You represented that crown oh so well and oh so beyond. Give them a round of applause. The shining examples of depth and leadership, and yes, promise to that next generation. A big shout out to the sponsors of this event. We could not do it. Look at this room, filled with so many tables, so much beauty, and so much to highlight. We thank you all for this 20th anniversary celebration. And as we close, we think about all of those of you who have chosen to be here today, and you put your money where your heart is. So we thank you, and we congratulate the other awardees who are all in attendance with us. But before we leave, we have to remember that we want you to join us for morning forums. Actually, we'd have to say, you know, it's actually afternoon, right? Access, Equity, and Future of Black Health, and Race and Justice Reframed, crafting a new narrative for public safety, criminal justice, and police reform. And as you know, 2024 is a landmark year as we celebrate the 25th anniversary of the National Urban League's Young Professionals. Whoop, 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 whoop. I don't hear you. Check out the afternoon YP plenary sessions that will engage and inspire. That's how you can show them that they are all that in a bag of chips. And we were looking for a break between sessions. Stop by day one of our Urban League Now Experience Lounge for a free headshot, refreshments, product giveaways, networking, or a place just to get some work done right here inside the Hyatt. That sounds like a lot of fun. And we're closing out the day with Urban League Live, the Bayou Bash. We don't have to be all dressed up for that. Camouflage is in order. It's a thrilling celebration of NOLA culture and music at Club XLIV, Champion Square. I can't read Roman numerals. The Bayou Bash. Anybody know what XLIV means? Not that quick. I gotta look it up. I gotta Google it. The Bayou Bash promises an abundance of energy, excitement, and Cajun flavor with surprise musical guest artists ready to create an unforgettable night. Camouflage attire, as I mentioned. Oops, it says no housekeeping. Thank you so very much, Michelle. Close, close, close. I'm almost finished now. And recharge after you so join us bright and early for the presidential plenary tomorrow morning, especially with political changes clearly developing every day. You won't want to miss it. And if you're ready to take control of your career, wow, virtual career fair. If you're ready to make a career pivot, earn your money, or do something where you're making a difference, you do not want to miss that event. And don't forget, oppose threats to democracy by texting all in one word, STOP Project 2025 to 52886. I didn't say that. That was the Urban League saying that. Connect with them online. Download the mobile app today. Visit NULconference.org. Enjoy the rest of your time here at the NUL conference, everybody. That's a wrap. Woohoo!